Guys, so we are going to, before we get into our mock draft, we're going to do some draft takes. Now, these are takes that literally we're throwing out there, and they could be completely, like, there's no truth in them. There's no, like, everything is safe. Like, you know, this is one of those things where literally, like, we'll just throw out things that we think that may or may not be true, and kind of talk about things of what we think about this NFL draft. So we're gonna go down, and I think we're gonna go back and forth with a bunch of them, but I just think you know, who do you want to start? You want me to go first, Scotty? You want?
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Okay. I think all the outliers are gonna suck in this draft. All the outliers. Everyone,
the outliers?
Everyone who is an outlier for various reasons. So Bryce Young, he's too small. So you ain't big enough, Chief.
You're saying the number 1 overall pick's gonna suck.
Bryce Young, too small. Okay. You suck. Keisha Chancey, arms too short. You're gonna suck. DeJuan Jones, you're too big and slow. Like, you're not gonna be good. Like, there's so many weird outliers. Too many small wide receivers that aren't gonna be good. That are just like they're too Tank Dell, 165 pounds. I don't care how fast you are. You're small. Like, you're like,
he's gonna be like a 4th or 5th.
But I'm just saying, like, outliers are just gonna be bad. Like, all of them. I just like that's one of my, like, I just don't think that, you know.
Okay.
We're let's go, baby.
Damn it! I'm on YouTube TV. I have it up. I'm not even close to them scoring. They don't even have the puck right now.
Wow.
Oh, that was a fluky. That was just throw it in front. McKinnon happened to be there and got it in.
Yeah, I just think, like, we're at a point in this draft where it's like, you know, we see all of these things. We've evaluated all of the shortcomings of a lot of guys, and it's just like there's a lot of outliers. Like, there's no way that, you know, normally Bryce Young, with like the size that he has and everything else, that he, you know, are going to be successful quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, you have issues of, you know, longevity, of getting hurt, of, you know, not seeing over the line, of all these different things. But yet we put, like, we talk ourselves into these guys because we see them so much, and we're just like, all right, like even though they have short arms, even though they have like a tiny frame, they're going to be good. And I'm just like, no, they all are going to suck.
Okay. They
there you go.
Suck.
I mean,
got it.
I mean, are we overthinking these things? No.
I mean, you could be right. The problem with saying the word outlier is, like, you could put it on like a lot of different topics, like
small hands,
outlier being small hands, small arms, small 3 shuttle, like small 40 or short or slow 40 or fast 40 even. I don't know, but I get what you're saying. I get it. My first hot take here. I'll go more running backs get drafted in the first round and wide receivers.
Ooh. Okay. You get some hype.
That's not to say that a lot of running backs are going to get taken in the first round, because I think it's 2. But I think there's a real life scenario where only 1 wide receiver goes in the first round.
Ooh, only 1. You take the I like it. Because here's the thing with wide receivers, they're not that great.
This draft class for wide receivers is that great. I think maybe if this does happen, I think you get a run early on in the second round, but I could see a scenario where, you know, Jackson Smith and Jigba goes in the first round, and that's it for wide receivers. And I am very confident that 2 running backs are going in the first round. Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs are both going in the first round for running back.
Ooh.
Now, what percentage do I put on this? I don't know. Roughly like 25 maybe.
Everything is safe here, guys.
Yeah, I think 2 running backs are going. I think it's 25% chance that only like 1 wide receiver, if not, I think we're going to see, you could see 3 or 4 wide receivers go in the first round as well, easily. if not 5. But that'd be idiotic, and I'd be shocked. I think we get one wide receiver taken in this first round. When's the last time we saw one wide receiver picked in the first round?
No clue.
That's gonna be wild if that happens. If
the hell is going on, Riley?
Crack and score? Are you kidding me? Like, we just can't hold a lead? Come on, man.
Bruh.
I mean, a tie. Like, at least a tie. Jeez.
We don't like nice things.
Oh my gosh. This is what we can't have nice. Also, I think 2, if not 3.
We're going to have another Trey Lance type trade.
All right. I like that hot take. I like it.
And the trade's going to be between the Cardinals and the Titans.
It literally started with McKinnon getting tripped, by the way. That goal started with McKinnon getting tripped and a no call.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Wow.
I can't believe how bad we're playing in this playoffs. After the run we made at the end of the season to win that division, ridiculous. All right. So next up, so another hot take I have is the first overall pick is bad and you shouldn't want it. You should not want the overall first pick. And you shouldn't want to draft the first quarterback off the board either. Don't draft the first quarterback off the board. It's a trash pick. I'm standing by it. Unless you
help me out, explain it, Chris.
Unless you're a generational talent, it's a doomsday clock. If you're a coach, if you're a franchise, everything. Like, we're talking about like the guys who take, you take in the first round, like, Panthers trade up to take Trae Young. If he sucks, the franchise stalls for 3 to 4 years. The GM and the coach likely get fired, and you're back in it. Whereas if you're like in the second, third, fourth round, and you have a Will Levis drop to you or something, you can let him sit. You can chill. You can have like him. Like, there's no issues. Will Levis, Anthony Richardson fall to you, whatever. Like, I know they're probably not going to drop, but whatever. But think about this.
Wait, when you said round, you meant round for those guys, or you meant pick?
Just the first quarterback taken.
No, I know, but then you said like if Will Levis or Anthony Richardson dropped to the second, third, fourth round,
like,
but
then there's no expectations for those guys.
Wait, hold on, but you didn't mean round, because they're going in the first round.
All of them?
Yes.
You sure?
100%.
Ooh.
There's 5
so think about
going
this.
in the first round.
Think about this. The last 10 first quarter. Think about this. The last 10 first quarterbacks taken in the draft. We're going back 2013. EJ Manuel, Doug Moreau, Doug Marrone, fired after the first season. 2014, Blake Bortles was the first quarterback taken. Gus Bradley, fired after 2 seasons. 2015, Jameis Winston, Lovie Smith, fired after the first season. Jared Goff, Jeff Fisher, fired during the season. Mitch Trubisky, 2017. John Fox, fired 1 season. Baker Mayfield, Hugh Jackson, fired after 1 season. 2019, Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury. He bought a one-way ticket to Thailand, and now he's reassessing his life, and he's gone. He's coaching in college football now. Joe Burrow's the outlier, right? Like, no one gives credit to Zach Taylor, right? No one gives credit to Zach Taylor for Joe Burrow. So that's one outlier. And then 2021, Trevor Lawrence was the first quarterback taken. Urban Meyer, fired after 1 season. Like the first quarterback taken, if you're not like a guy that wins games, the last 18 quarterbacks that had losing records in their starts, like when they started, all but 4 head coaches were fired within the first 2 years of that player being drafted. Of those 4 that were fired during year 3, Joe Philbin was fired at year 4, Kingsbury in year 4 as well. So like, when you're drafting the top, like I'll take the second or third quarterback. Like, I feel like
you understand the second and third quarterback is usually like a top 10 pick, right?
Well, sure. Well, but at the same time, I don't want that first quarterback pick. That means Bryce Young is going to be a flop, right?
No.
If you look at the last 10 years.
Okay, that's a small sample size, but no, it doesn't mean that.
Hey, hot takes.
Doesn't mean that at all.
Hot takes. Everything is safe.
Chris, first of all, you equated it to coaches, which I think is odd because the GM is the one making the pick.
Well, and the GMs get fired too. I mean, coaches, GMs. Sure. I mean, realistically, it's both.
GM gets fired. Not wanting the number 1 pick. You'd rather See, and here's the problem with, and I think this mentality is out there for GMs. I think there's a mentality for GMs,
pressure.
and it was said by the Steve Keim on an interview just a day or two ago, the former Arizona Cardinals GM, that he was the one, he took Kyler Murray, number 1 overall. And he, on that same interview, said Nick Bosa for the 49ers, who I think went 2, said, you'll regret it. You'll regret it. And to this day, Steve Keim's like, he said that, and he knows, clearly everyone in the world knows Nick Bosa is a better player than Kyler Murray, right? Like, Nick Bosa's borderline, he's top 5 defensive player maybe in the league. And Kyler Murray can't touch top 5 quarterback in the league. So, but he's like, I will still make that pick because I would get fired. Here's the problem with GMs. They make safe picks that keep them their job longer. They're scared to take quarterbacks because if that quarterback fails,
well, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what my point was, right?
But that's true. Not at the first quarterback. That's if you take a quarterback in the first round. That's true. Like if you fail on a first round QB, and here's my mentality, Chris, which is like maybe foreign. You keep firing. Like if I'm the Texans at 2. Maybe you don't like any of these guys that much, but you draft that guy, you see what he's got for 1 year. If he's not it, you're probably drafting pretty high next year. You pull again. You literally, if you have a top 5 pick and you don't have a quarterback on your roster, you keep firing for quarterbacks until you get one. Because that's all that, if you don't have a quarterback, it doesn't matter, Chris. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Exactly. You just don't want to take the first one.
How about that for a hot take?
You just don't want to take the first.
For a hot take. If a team drafted a quarterback in the top 5 picks 3 straight rounds, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I would not have a problem with it.
It's the third.
Because that means
it's the third one that's going to pan out.
I tried to carry my oversized
maybe
board game
not.
onto the plane,
P3,
but I wasn't allowed. They said the risk was too big. Why did the biology teacher break up with the physics teacher? There was no chemistry. The other day I went to the theater to see a show about puns. It was a play on words.
Hey, thank you, P3.
Because I don't believe in it. But no, I'm just kidding.
Thank you, P3, for the biddies and the jokes as always. SDG Cleveland has struck out in 3 first-round QBs: Whedon, Manziel, and Baker. Yeah.
Okay, but 2 of those were picked in the 20s. Whedon.
But here's the thing.
Manziel.
Quarterbacks drafted between rounds 4 and 7 have had more hits than number 1 overall quarterbacks taken.
What the fuck are you saying right now? I'm sorry for my language. What? What? Did you just say there's a higher success rate with 4th through 7th round quarterbacks than first overall?
There's a lot of success in middle rounds.
Chris, how do we ban Chris?
No.
Thing I've ever heard on this stream. What are you saying right now? Name me outside of Tom Brady a 4th through 7th round quarterback that's been anything worth a shit.
I don't have a list in front of me. I'm not going into the list.
Then why say that?
Come on, man.
Who said that? Who are you reading right now that said that? That's the dumbest thing I've ever read in my life.
All I'm saying is,
Chris, I'm so mad right now.
Don't
that you just said that.
All I'm saying
what are you
is
saying? You said
first round quarterbacks are not a home run. First round quarterbacks are not a home run. And how many failures have we had with big time quarterbacks taken in the first round that we've had so much expectations for that have flopped for the last 10 years that I just labeled off that haven't panned out?
Outside of Tom Brady, tell me the last great outside of the first round quarterback in the league.
I mean, when was
outside of Tom Brady?
When was Jalen Hurts drafted?
Second round.
All right, it wasn't first round. It wasn't first round.
Okay.
When was Dak drafted? When was Dak drafted?
4th. He was drafted in the 4th.
What has Dak done?
But Dak's still a relevant quarterback in the league.
Oh, we're looking for relevancy?
I mean, is he still in the league? Is he still playing? Is he better than a Blake Bortles or an EJ Manuel or a Mitch Trubisky, Baker Mayfield? I mean,
to be clear, you did just say that there's a higher success rate with 4th through 7th round quarterbacks.
I said maybe all right, I misspoke. Maybe there is not a terrible. If you wait and get a quarterback in later rounds, it's not going to be the worst option for you.
Absolutely is. If you are taking a quarterback outside the first round, All right. I'll even move past the second round. If you take a quarterback third round or later, that you better be expecting that person to be a backup, your backup QB for a career. For a career, Chris. There is so much evidence. And yes, there's a giant miss rate in the first round with quarterbacks because they're overdrafted, because it's such an important position. So bad quarterbacks are taken in the first round. But that means the quarterbacks that are going in the third round should be 7th round picks, Chris. If you just go off based off talent, they're not good.
All right.
They're not good.
All right. I have another hot take.
Okay.
All quarterbacks are good. The teams are bad. What? Every single quarterback is good. The teams are bad.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
Although I will say to Chris's defense,
right Scotty, you're losing the whole point of this hot take draft.
I know it's crazy. I know it's supposed to be crazy points, but like
you're gonna hate. You're gonna hate some of my later. You're gonna hate some of my later hot takes. You know that, right?
Yeah. Chris, to your defense, a lot of quarterback failures are because of like bad coaching and being in a bad situation.
True. Yeah. No, that's a very valid situation.
Let me debunk this real quick, Chris. Patrick LeVon Mahomes.
He was a great coach.
Lost Tyreek Hill and went on to win a Super Bowl. Like, explain that. If they're all the even quarterbacks, and then he loses a top 5 wide receiver in the league, and then he goes on and wins it.
He didn't say they're all equal. He said they're all at least good.
Yep.
No, they're not good.
Yep.
They're not good. There's probably only like 7 or 8 quarterbacks that are good.
All right.
But I appreciate your hot. I just didn't know it was getting this hot. Chris.
No, we're getting crazy. Scotty, this is what I'm talking about with like you didn't know how crazy this was going to get, because I told you this is like everything could be wrong. We could say things that are absolutely like not even in left field. They're like in far left field of the next stadium over.
You're literally going like the Lions in the last 20 years should have won 3 Super Bowls.
I got one.
Like that's where you're headed.
I got one
right now. Yeah.
Kenny Pickett is going to be better than anyone in this draft class.
I can see it.
Yay. So we've been talking. No. We've been talking ourselves into all of these guys, and in reality, none of them make any sense. None of them make sense. Like if Justin Fields was in this draft, he would be the number 1 quarterback of these guys, and I'd be like, Justin Fields, like he's good, right? Justin Fields is probably the best guy of this draft. Kenny Pickett, he put on 15 pounds, by the way.
I don't agree with Fields, but go ahead.
Kenny Pickett, he's put on 15 pounds because he got called out for his hands, so now he's put on 15 pounds.
In his hands?
Yeah,
were those 15 pounds in his hands?
Yes, clearly.
He should have plugged them into his hands. It would have helped him. But like he got called out, so he was like, I got to put on weight over the offseason. Now he's Kenny Pickett. This season.
Who watched Kenny Pickett last year and was like, you know what the problem was? You weren't thick enough. What the hell is going on right now?
Oh, hi, Broncos.
Hey, Broncos.
What is happening? I don't give a damn if Kenny Pickett, he's like, oh, I saw a quarterback be fat and be good in Pittsburgh for a long time, so I'm going to put on weight. Like what is happening?
I don't know what he's doing, but hey, he's trying to get bigger. He's trying to, he's trying to do what he can, right? I don't know. It's not my thing. I'm not in Pittsburgh, but
he's at the age where you're not putting on muscle, you're putting on fat, Chris. He's too old.
He's putting on muscle.
You can't put on muscle at this point. By the way, when is muscle ever equated to helping yourself as a quarterback?
Jalen Hurts. To help Jalen Hurts.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Was Jalen Hurts not muscular in college?
He wasn't. What? He wasn't he got ripped. Like he was somewhat muscular when he got drafted, but last year in the last offseason, he got ripped. He got much more muscular, and he did what he did.
I don't think muscle helps you throwing a football. In fact, it might make it worse with accuracy. Have you ever seen a muscular person try and swing a golf club? It's ugly. They can't do it. You can't get your torque around. I don't think being muscular, like, I don't think it helps much. I mean, the best quarterbacks.
Do you think though, instead of calling,
I don't agree with that.
Do you think instead of calling him in Pittsburgh, they called Big Ben? Maybe call him Big Ken? Do we call him Big Ken?
He hasn't earned a nickname. He started like 10 games and threw 5 touchdowns. He hasn't earned a nickname yet.
SDG, Big Ken Jr. Yeah, exactly. Big Ken. I'm holding my head, says Football Wife. Yeah, this is why we're having fun with this. We're having Scott. All right,
Chris,
I did a couple hot takes.
Take a hot take.
Go ahead.
That makes sense.
Go ahead.
And this regards the draft. The Houston Texans will take a quarterback in the first round.
Is that a hot take?
It will not be with their number 2 or number 12 pick.
They're trading up.
They're going to trade up from the second round to take Hendon Hooker later on in the first round of the draft.
Hendon Hooker.
That actually might happen. By the way, I have more hot takes with quarterbacks. 2 other teams that might trade in the top 10 to take a quarterback. Not that hot, but like the hottest is Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings might trade into the top 10 and take a quarterback. And I think it's actually 50-50.
Okay.
If they can, right. I'm not even saying who the quarterback is, but like Minnesota, everyone's like, oh, they're a good team. They got Kirk Cousins.
Hendon Hooker? What?
Hendon Hooker is going to be a Houston Texan. And I'm not saying I even like that for the Texans. I don't.
One of my hot takes was for the Texans. The Texans should sell the farm and get assets for next year to get Caleb Williams. They should not draft a quarterback. They should trade down and sell everything and just lose for an entire season and then go and get Caleb Williams next year and just tank for another year.
I think there are a lot of teams that should do that. The
Cardinals should do that. Cardinals,
Texans. How can you guarantee that you're going to be the worst team in the league? Because it's up to the players on the field. You can't trade everything. If you trade everything and you get Caleb Williams, your team's going to be trash. Caleb Williams is going to need help.
Is he a generational talent? Is he a generational quarterback or no?
Maybe, but again, you talked about it earlier. It depends on situation and coach.
It goes against my first argument, my first hot take of like not taking the first overall quarterback.
Yeah, you're like. Your different hot takes are like take a guy in the 7th round.
That's why this is fun.
And because it's like literally sell your whole team for the first overall pick.
Yes. Hot take. This is the hot take. This is the hot take draft. This is what we're doing. We're talking about things that probably aren't ever going to happen or ever going to be in reality, but we're having fun with them because that's what we do here, and it gets you guys talking too.
All right. If we're doing hot takes, Broncos will be good next year.
Hey, I like that one.
Let's get wild, Chris.
All right.
Let's just say random shit.
No. Hey,
here's a hot take. Every single year, there is one quarterback that is overhyped to hell and back. This year, it's Anthony Richardson. He's not going to be anything worth a damn.
Huh? I mean, that could very well happen.
I mean, I think Anthony Richardson has
Will Levis over him, but
yeah,
I think Richardson's. They're both raw and like talented without putting it on film necessarily. I like Richardson a lot more than Levis.
Yeah, it's just like Richardson is this year's candidate for the media is so bored, so they pick a bad quarterback and make him look great.
I mean, I feel like there's some questions with Richardson to where it's like that's not. I mean, it's a hot take, but it's not like a hot take where it's like. You know, people have questions about him, right?
Okay, to make it a little bit of a hot take, Richardson, Zach Wilson, what's the difference?
Say that again?
Richardson, Zach Wilson, what's the difference?
Everything?
I mean, Richardson is an athletic freak and...
Literally everything.
Zach Wilson jumped up for no reason. Like, oh yeah, here's this bad quarterback, but look, he's talented. He's clearly worth a top 5 pick.
Hey,
that's what
one of them's twice the size, twice the arm strength, and twice the speed. They're pretty different.
All right,
they're pretty different.
All right. Speaking of Hendon Hooker, hot take. In 10 years, Hendon Hooker will be the only starting quarterback left from this draft class.
He'll be dead, Chris. He's old.
He'll be
Hendon
He
Hooker's
won't even be alive.
He's older than Pickett.
Or I guess Will Levis could classify in this. Either way, Will Levis, Hendon Hooker will be the only potential quarterbacks left from this draft class. Think about this, right? So they're talked about the least. Nobody talks about now that all of a sudden people are talking about Will Levis. People aren't talking about Hendon Hooker. But like you have all of these other candidates, right? That have like attributes like that. I mean, let's just take Will Levis for example. He has a strong arm. He's tough. He played in an NFL system. Sure, he's got good attributes that fit in the NFL. So like you're a guy that can last in the NFL. So they get chance after chance after chance. Meanwhile, you guys got like Stroud, who has attitude problems, or maybe doesn't like score well on tests, or whatever it may be. Like maybe there's
attitude problems.
Questions. Yeah, there's been a couple reports of like some different things.
I've actually heard more issues with Levis' personality than Stroud.
Young size and longevity, whether or not he can stay healthy in the NFL. You got Richardson, who needs some work and have like he hasn't really thrown anything in his career like leading up to this point. Like who knows? But like here's the thing. Like
Levis completed like 32%.
We're having fun with this, Scott. Chill. Unreal. Scotty's still in like statistics.
Your hot takes are so
come on,
wild.
man.
Scotty can't
I've
get
heard
with
of hot takes, but your takes are like
here's the thing, Scotty. You gotta embrace. You got to embrace the chaos of what this is.
I think hot takes are more like this could happen.
It's only a game.
Most people don't think it is. You're literally throwing shit at a wall.
That's the fun of it. You got to embrace what we're talking about here.
I think people are enjoying how upset I'm getting.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's good.
But here's the thing. Dude. Like Hendon Hooker and maybe Will Levis, if Will Levis drops, if they drop, they're going to go to a team that may be actually a decent team. Maybe if they drop to the later rounds, they're going to a decent team. They have some time to maybe sit behind a quarterback, kind of develop, kind of work their way in, and all of a sudden you have a backup or a guy that works his way up into the systems of those teams that may 10 years from now you have like all of a sudden you have like a Ryan Tannehill kind of player that's like not great, but still he's still in the NFL over some of the guys that are already being drafted. Hot take.
Right. Ryan Tannehill was a top 10 pick if I'm not wrong.
But I'm just saying. These guys are going to go to a team that can cultivate them. Maybe what about the Broncos all of a sudden taking a quarterback late like a Hendon Hooker and all of a sudden taking him to a Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying?
They don't have a pick. Otherwise, they should do it. But they don't have a pick.
I mean, he could fall to the
third
Broncos.
round.
He could fall to the Broncos second rounder.
Diacola, slap Scotty.
Have a second rounder.
Ducky, slap Scotty. Everyone's slapping Scotty. Got to get with the program.
Slap away.
Maybe then he'll feel something other than anger.
Scotty, can I have you do a fun hot take where it's like the most ridiculous thing on the planet, but you believe it?
I already said the Broncos being good next year. Wasn't that my fun?
That was
my fun hot take.
That was satire. Get out of here.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. There are people in this stream that don't remember the Broncos being good. That's how long it's been.
No, guys, you guys remember the Broncos being.
Dolphins win the East.
See, there you go, Rec, embracing it.
I bet money on
crazy. That's not that crazy.
I bet money on it. I actually put money on
the
that.
AFC East is going to be a battle.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about
win
that.
the AFC North.
All right.
Okay, well, that's just
another hot take. This receiver class is going to be better than advertised.
Potentially.
It depends on who's advertising.
I think this is going to be a good receiver class. Everyone's talking shit on it. I think it's going to be good. I think there's going to be a lot of. I think there's going to be a lot of good players in this draft that, from a receiver standpoint, that end up shocking some people. You get good value. No one's high on receivers. They end up dropping, and all of a sudden, you're getting like a really good slot receiver that can like separate or do some crazy things late in the first round, middle second round, middle third round that like nobody is like really valuing because everyone's like, oh, this is trashed wide receiver draft. And all of a sudden, they end up panning out. You get like a nice Wes Welker or nice, like Cooper Cup, or any kind of guys that really are really talented players. So I think, hot take, this receiver class is better than advertised.
Yeah. Chairman made a good point. You hate first overall QBs, but the Broncos have literally never won a Super Bowl without first overall QBs.
They've also never drafted those.
That's true. They've never drafted any of them. they've had to work magic to get them.
No, one of those they acquired on draft day. Okay. By the end of that day, he was on the team. He never played for another franchise.
Guys, by the way, if you're having fun with us, having a good time, having a good laugh, hit that follow button. We are live here every Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday night. Each and every single time in the Action Lab, we're always having some fun. I'm
having a blast.
Nick, hot take: Kincaid and Musgrave will be the best tight ends in the draft. We had Musgrave as number one tight end.
Yeah,
number one tight end in this draft, and I think those two are the best pass catching tight ends coming into this draft for sure. You got maybe a more well-rounded with Meyer.
It's Michael Meyer.
Yeah, I know.
It looks like Mayer, kind of like Christian Braun. Like it just looks weird.
Yeah. And then why am I drawing a blank on the guy out of Georgia who's an athletic freak? But no, I think it's a good take.
Hey, good take. There you go.
That's a good take. I'm trying to think, Chris. I didn't know we were getting this wild. What's like a crazy,
like something you don't believe, but at the same time you're like.
Steelers drafted tight end behind Freiermuth early.
Oh, that's not that crazy. Freiermuth's mid.
Avalanche losing 2-1 at second intermission. B-dub.
In whose world?
In the NFL world.
Chairman, hot take: Kincaid to the Jets to be a weapon for Aaron. Ooh, Jets targeting a tight end. Okay.
By the way, Chris, by the end of day tomorrow, I've been saying this for a long time, but by the end of day tomorrow, Hopkins will be a Kansas City Chief.
Is that your hot take?
That's not a hot take. That's just reality.
Okay.
That's reality.
Okay.
By tomorrow, DeAndre Hopkins, by end of day tomorrow, will be a Kansas City Chief.
You've said
that's where he wants to be.
You've said that about like how many? You said about OBJ.
I said OBJ or Hopkins or both will be a Chief, and I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. You're holding out hope.
Hopkins is not going to the Ravens.
Speaking of tight ends,
0%.
Speaking of tight ends,
if anything, he'll go to the Bills. Otherwise,
hot take.
Maybe Cowboys and maybe Chargers. Those are the 4 teams left.
Hey.
Not the Ravens.
There you go. Speaking of tight ends, hot take. Darnell Washington is the next Gronk. He's bigger than everybody else. He moves like Gronk.
Like he's dumb?
He can block. He's playing. He
likes to party.
Yeah, he likes to party. He's like the best tight end behind like the best tight end in college, right? Playing behind Brock Bowers. We talked about it on our draft show, but like he's efficient, man. On a per reception base, he like during his short time and short plays that he never got because he was behind Brock Bowers. He led when he was on the field per yards per reception, yards per target, missed tackles per reception, yards per catch per reception, explosive play rate. Like, even though he didn't get a lot of he was a small sample size, he was crushing behind a really, really good tight end that he couldn't get in front of because he was just that he wasn't the best tight end on the thing. But he's still gonna be a solid tight end. He's the next Gronk.
You literally said he's gonna be a solid tight end, followed by he's the next Gronk. Those are two different things, but yes.
Is Gronk a solid tight end? Am I wrong?
He was a little bit more than solid.
A little bit more than solid, Chris. I think he's probably a top 3 tight end in the history of the game.
Yeah. So
by the way, Chris, have fun with the Devil Dogs hot take.
Let's see. What's Devil Dog? Where is it?
Oh, yep.
Hot.
Come on, say it.
Israel.
It's like Wakanda.
Benaconda is the next Pacheco. I mean, I'm trying to remember who like how to compare those two. Because I haven't really watched a lot of Israel Abediconda. I think I pronounced that right. Killed it, by the way.
Close enough.
But I mean, I don't know how to rate that hot take, because I don't know too much about him.
Chairman has a hot take. This time tomorrow, Bijan Robinson will be a Lion and DeAndre Swift will not.
Ooh,
that's a hot take.
That like it, Chairman. Yeah, there we go.
That's a hot take.
Guys, throw your hot takes out there. We love it.
Great running back in your roster. You might as well draft a different one and not get value back on Swift. It'd be a Lions thing to do. No offense, Chairman. Wouldn't even hate it, but I just don't understand the Swift hate obviously I'm just not around enough to know why they hate DeAndre Swift like they do. And I know he's been injury prone. I get that, but like when he gets the ball in his hands, he's really damn good. Yeah. That's clear. Get the ball in that guy's hands and he's really, really damn good.
He got into the doghouse somehow, and I'm really not sure. Moves like Gronk. That is an interesting parody music video.
Gronk did not move well. I will be Code Yellowing real quick.
There you go. Code Yellow. F for the Ravens in the chat. Code Yellow, by the way. We're having a lot of fun with a lot of these. And here's the thing. Like,
Scotty's not.
Scotty's hating this because Scotty's brain is very analytical, and he like loves truth. He loves truth. And whatever's not true, his brain just like all of a sudden just. So guys, throw out non-truths in the chat, whether it's sports related or not, and he's gonna read it and he's gonna be like, "What the hell? There's no way!" And his brain is gonna explode on camera. And this is gonna be. I mean, I don't know if TOS for Twitch is gonna be an issue because his brain explodes literally here, but throwing out and here's the thing, there's like some truth to some of these, but there's like it's like 15 to 20% truth of like the hot takes, and like 80% like this is a hot take. Like you got
like plus 2,000 odds on it.
Yeah. These are things that aren't going like I said. I mean, Kenny Pickett's going to be better than anyone in this quarterback class. Like I doubt that's the case, but you know, like that's a thing. Or Will Levis will be the only starting quarterback left in this draft class in 10 years. Like, that's a hot take. That's a crazy thing that probably won't happen. But, you know, everything is safe in this environment because we're doing the 2023 draft hot take. That's
apparently not with Scotty here.
Not with Scotty. Scotty's still in, like, the analytical, like, this has to be true kind of, like, environment. So all you got to do in the chat to really get to him is throw out some crazy shit like Reckoning, Hauser, Devil Doc, Casually, Chairman, all of you guys.
Cooper.
Throw out like Football Wife. Throw out like
Super Cooper would lead the Cowboys to the Super Bowl.
Super Cooper is better than any quarterback in this draft class. You might.
Oh God, Broncos.
Maybe something like Jackson Mahomes is actually the father. Oh no.
Oh God.
Oh no. Super Cooper. No. Scotty did not understand the assignment. He did not get it. And that's fine. That's fine. But he's learning. Next time he's going to come up with some decent hot takes that are going to compete with what I got thrown out there. It's okay. Hey, Scotty.
I literally heard you saying I didn't understand the assignment. And I didn't know the assignment was to say jackass things. There is a difference for me from hot takes, which are like, 20% chance, to just saying wild shit that's never going to happen. That's my difference.
Hot take. The moment that Tua shows any sign of injury or concussion, Dolphins pull Tom Brady out of retirement.
Wait, say that again?
The moment that Tua shows like any sign of like fatigue or injury or whatever, the Dolphins pull Tom Brady out of retirement.
Ooh. I mean, that makes more sense to me than the other ones.
Then Will Levis being the only starting quarterback left in this draft class?
Do I think that's going to happen with Tom Brady? No, but could it happen theoretically? Yeah, I could see it.
Well,
hot take after the draft, DeAndre Hopkins will be a Cleveland Brown. No.
leads them to it. See, that's what I'm talking about, Nick. That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't even have to get to the Super Bowl part, which is even more ridiculous.
I guess that's the worst part. Yeah, you didn't even have to read like the second half of that.
I didn't have to get to the second half about the Super Bowl, which is stupid. But I mean, the Browns aren't like a top 8 team in the league, right? Or in the AFC, I should say, right?
How are the Avs doing, by the way? We haven't checked in on the Avs recently.
It's still the end of the intermission. They're down 2-1.
What are we doing? All right. So, any other hot takes? Throw them in the chat, Scotty. If you have any, throw them out there.
Apparently, I haven't had any hot takes, Chris. Mine are too rational to be hot
Yours
takes.
are realistic.
You literally have to be scorching earth in order to be a hot take.
Salt the earth.
Like, I'm good at salt. I can provide salt.
You've been providing a lot of salt today.
This isn't even salt. It's just I was unprepared.
You were not.
For just throwing ridiculous.
No, that's.
I mean, Chris,
maybe I should have given you a heads up. Maybe I should have given you a heads up.
When you said the NBA part about how you could score in the league more than whoever it was, that was more realistic than some of your hot takes. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Hot take: Derrick Henry. When Derrick Henry shows his decline, shows his regression, he gets cut before the season ends.
There's no reason for them to cut him mid-season, though.
I mean, I've seen save money.
They're not going to save money on cutting him mid-season.
I mean, we've seen it before.
We've seen it, but not really.
Yeah.
I think he could be traded. I think I think Derrick Henry very well could play for another team this season.
Yeah, I agree. The only reason I'm not saying he's get traded, who would want to trade for him? What, are the Titans going to get a 7th? They might get a 7th for Derrick Henry.
They won't get a lot.
Who's trading for him?
Someone that thinks they can win next year? Like, say, the Eagles?
If there's one thing the Eagles don't need, it's running back.
Really? Who's their running back?
Rashad Penny. They also have Boston Scott. Again, without offensive line, I can run for 5 yards per carry.
Okay. Also asinine.
Hot take.
We're getting even dumber. And Rashad Penny is going to be healthy for about 3 games. So
Boston Scott would take over. No giant killer.
Everyone's a giant killer. All you have to do is participate and you're a giant killer. That's how that works.
Where's G-Girl?
Guys, keep your hot takes coming in. I love all of them in the chat. Hauser, look at Tennessee's schedule last year. They gave up big games to lots of people. Hot take, Helv. The Bucks made a move to cockblock the Cowboys in drafting this year. Nick, hot take. Lamar Jackson goes to Miami and OBJ goes back to Cleveland. Okay. I mean, I don't. Lamar Jackson, man, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole.
He's gonna be at the Ravens. I don't know.
I hope so.
I love the freedom
I don't see another scenario.
I love the freedom of everybody in the chat just throwing out crazy hot takes just to get us thinking about them and get us talking. Miami Dolphins secretly hire TB12 as head coach. Wins Super Bowl with Tua and Hill. Not out of the. Hey, let's go. Hot take casually. No, he's not. He's probably he's got the shots booth. Well, how are the Avs doing?
They give up another one.
I mean, why would? I mean, not that Tom Brady has the money in the booth, which provides it's less work, less hours, less responsibility, less blame for everything. He's just gonna stick with that. Let's be honest.
Ooh,
Seattle takes a QB at 5.
I don't.
Could happen.
It's the SDG. I don't hate that. Are you gonna take a hot take SDG.
If there's a quarterback outside of Bryce Young, because he won't be there at 5.
Well,
let's say everyone besides Bryce Young is there at 5. Who do you want, STG? Who do you want?
Honestly, that's one of the 2 or 3 places that Richardson might not be total ass with.
Okay.
Hauser, hot take: CJ Stroud and Jackson Smith and Jigma will be drafted in the first round by the Texans. Okay, all right. So they go on CJ Stroud. I don't hate CJ Stroud. Like the Texans are a strange team in this draft. Like we don't know what they're doing.
I don't think they're taking Stroud. Although that's a fair hot take. Like that's something that could certainly happen. And in fact, I could see them easily at 12. Oh, son of a bitch. Sorry.
Yeah, I saw it in the chat.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and this was like a wrister, like no business going in goal. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. This is it for the Avs, Chris. I think they're done in this series.
They might be done. There's
a hot take. The defending Stanley Cup champions are going to win. Why does he not see that? This is such an embarrassing goal as I watch it back. I know this isn't great for the stream, but like there's a lot of people in front and it gets through. I don't know how it gets through the 2 bodies it does, but at the same time, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. Unreal.
What the point was? I could easily see Houston taking JSN at 12, though. I'd be shocked if they take Stroud at 2. There's also the history of Stroud has the same agent as Deshaun Watson. Oh. And the GM, Nick Caserio, for Houston says that's not factored in for us at all. And I agree that's not factored in for Nick Caserio because he wasn't really around until, really with Deshaun Watson. But the owner is going to veto that. There's no way the owner of the Texans is going to be like, yo, let's sign up with this agent again. It's just not going to happen.
Well, there you go. There's some hot takes for you. So hopefully you enjoyed the crazy fun conversations that popped up over the course of that hot take segment. We should probably do that more often. Just like, well, maybe do an NBA hot take.
I'm just going to start saying like things like Nathan McKinnon would be the greatest running back in the history of the NFL if he just changed sports.
You could.
I mean, he is a boxer.
You could, and we would actually talk about it and be like, well, actually, he could be. He could be.
If you think about
it, you can actually make an argument that he could be a really good athlete in multiple sports.
He's a boxer, isn't he? Isn't Nathan McKinnon a boxer?
I don't know. Is he?
I think he is.
But I guess boxers can be small. They just are in a different weight class.